Hi, I'm Mr. Holsworth. I'm here to teach you factoring trinomials. A trinomial is a polynomial with exactly three terms. In the form x squared plus bx plus c is what we're going to start with. For example, you could have x squared plus 6x minus 8. You could also have plus 8, but just for this example I decided to do that. Part 1, we're going to factor trinomials like x squared plus bx plus c. Before we even do that, I want to show you that distributing, which is the opposite of factoring, can show you some interesting things about trends regarding the middle term and the outside term. First of all, if I took x plus 2 times x plus 7 and I went ahead and FOILed that, I'd have x times x, which gives you x squared, and then x times 7 gives you 7x, and 2x, or 2 times x, which gives you 2x, and 2 times 7, which gives you 14. Then if I look at the terms that I can combine, the like terms, 7x and 2x together would then give me 9. So total I'd have x squared plus 9x plus 14. And I want you to notice that in the middle you have positive 9, and on the outside you have positive 14. The coefficients of the middle term is the sum of the constant factors. So what I want you to see is that you have a positive 9 here, and that's this 2 and 7 added together. That's where the sum is. Then the constant term at the end is 14, and I want you to notice that 2 times 7 will give you 14. Now, noticing those trends, let's do the opposite of distributing, which is factoring. I want you to factor x squared plus 11x plus 30. To do this, the first step, step 1, is to find the factors of 30, which is what numbers multiplied to give you 30. And those are 30 and 1, 15 and 2, 10 and 3, and 5 and 6. Step 2 is decide which pair of factors will give you a sum of 11. And I hope that you see that 5 and 6 are the only two that add up to 11 in the middle. They all multiply to give you 30, but 30 plus 1 will give you 31, which is not 11. 15 plus 2 will give you 17, which is not 11. 10 plus 3 will give you 13, which is also not 11, but 5 and 6 will multiply to give you 30, but also add to give you 11. So 5 and 6 are my factors that multiply to give me the outside term and that add together to give me the inside term. So step 3, x squared plus 11x plus 30 factor completely would be x plus 5 times x plus 6, or equivalently x plus 6 times x plus 5. Now I want you guys to try one. Example 2, factor x squared plus 9x plus 20 and choose between the following. A, x plus 10 times x plus 2. Part B, x plus 4 times x plus 5, or choice B. Choice C is x plus 20 times x plus 1. Okay, a solution. The trinomial was x squared plus 9x plus 20, but factored out should be specifically x plus 4 times x plus 5. Now remember, if you had x plus 5 times x plus 4, that's also okay. Now why is it that? First of all, the factors of 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. However, 4 and 5 are the only ones that add up to 9, which is the middle term. Remember that factoring is basically reverse distributing. Okay, and in summary, you want to try to find what two numbers or integers multiply to give you the last term, and at the same time add to give you the middle term. So again, in this example, 4 times 5 will give me 20, but 4 plus 5 will give me 9. That's factoring. Part 2. So what if you have trinomials that don't have all positives in them, and just in this example, let's say you had x squared minus bx plus c, or if I multiplied x minus 4 times x minus 2 out, I would get x squared minus 2x minus 4x plus 8. And then if I combine my like terms in the middle, I would then get x squared minus 6x plus 8. Well, the coefficient of the middle term, again, is the sum of the constant factors. So negative 2 plus negative 4 will give me negative 6 for my middle term, and it's also the product of the constant factors, or the constant term is the product of the constant factors. So negative 4 times negative 2 will give you positive 8. So let's factor something in the form b squared minus 7b plus 12. So the factors of 12 are 12 and 1, 3 and 4, 2 and 6, but don't forget that we're talking about a negative middle term, which means that these things are going to need to add up to negative 7. So I also need to think about negative 12 times negative 1 and the fact that that actually does, if I multiply that, give me 12. Also, negative 3 times negative 4 will also give me 12, and negative 2 times negative 6 will also give me 12. So now the sum of those factors are negative 12 plus negative 1 will give me negative 13, which is not negative 7, and lower down here, negative 2 plus negative 6 will give me negative 8, which is also not negative 7. However, negative 3 and negative 4 will give me negative 7 if I add them together. So negative 3 and negative 4 is the only pair that will multiply to give you 12 and at the same time add together to give you negative 7. Therefore, the answer is b minus 3 times b minus 4. I want you to go ahead and check this by distributing. Again, b times b is b squared, b times negative 4 is negative 4b, negative 3 times b is negative 3b, and negative 3 times negative 4 is 12. So then if I add my middle terms, I should get negative